There's a reason most people don't buy the first time they visit your store, and it's not your product. In this video, I'll show you how to set up a Facebook retargeting campaign step by step, even if you're brand new. You'll learn how to bring back people who visited your site, added to cart, or almost checked out, and turn that missed interest into real sales. All right, so we're in the ad manager right now. So I'm going to show you how to create the prospecting campaign. So we're going to select our objective as sales. And then at the campaign level, we can give it a name. We can put prospecting 1-1. All right, so this is our prospecting campaign. You can always change the campaign name, so it doesn't have to be dead on right away. You can always come back and change this. At the budget level, we're going to select ad set budget because we want to distribute how much each ad set gets. We don't want Meta to dictate that. So we look right here, it says automatically distribute your budget to the best opportunities across your campaigns. So basically Meta is in control. We don't want that. We want to be the ones in control. I have a dedicated video on campaign budget versus ad set budget, but whenever you're in doubt when it comes to your audience or your ad creatives, go ahead with ad set budget. If you're 100% sure that this audience has worked well for you and these ads have worked well for you, then you can go into campaign budget. Be like, hey Meta, this has worked well for us. You can go ahead and scale this campaign, and then it will do all the magic for you. But if you're unsure of your audience and your ads, go ahead at the ad set level. All right, that was just a quick walkthrough. All right, and then we're gonna get out the campaign level, and we're gonna go into the ad set level, and then we can give this one a name. This one's gonna be, we can put United States broad. So that's gonna be our first ad set. Or whatever country you're targeting. If you're targeting the UK or if you're targeting some other country, go ahead and put that country's name. You can always come back and edit these. All right, for our website, that's going to be our conversion location, maximize number of conversions, and then you're going to select your data set, and then your conversion event, we're going to select our purchase. Again, there's some warning here. That's because it's just an example pixel. But you're going to go ahead and select purchase if you're running an e-commerce store. And then at the budget and schedule, we're going to keep it at 20. That's fine. You can always come back and edit this. So I'll show you at the end how to come back and allocate different budgets for each ad set. We're going to keep it at 20 for now. And then we're going to go into the ad level. I forgot to touch on one point here. Let's go back. So if you look at the actual ad set, it's just the United States. That's it. And we're keeping advantage on. That way it's completely broad. We're letting Meta figure out, all right, which age group, which gender works well for our product. And we're saying, hey Meta, go find us our ideal prospects. So just keeping it broad. So you want to include whatever country you're at. So if you're targeting the UK, you would put United Kingdom. And then you would exclude the US. In this example, we're going to put the US. So I need to select the US back again. So I'm just going to put United States. And then uncheck the UK. All right, so that was for our ad set. It's just completely broad. That's it. That's all you got to do is just put your country that you're trying to target. And then at the ad level, we can go ahead and put media 1. And then we're going to go down. So we got our Facebook page right, our Instagram page right. Manual upload is good. It's going to be a single image. And then we're going to put in our website. That's going to be our destination URL. And then that's good, that's good, that's good. And then we're going to click Setup Creative. So this is our prospecting campaign. This is targeting people that are not familiar with our brand. They haven't seen our brand before. Source URL is fine. All right, and then we're going to select this first image. That's going to be for our prospecting. All right, cropping looks good for everything square, vertical, and horizontal, which is good. Select next for our primary. All right, I went ahead and threw in some primary text. So the Roam Knit Jogger is a perfect combination with comfort style. It's just quick benefit, and then explore today for our various premium colorways to save on your first order. Headline, 20% off your first order. In the description, free shipping on 99 plus order. Again, we want to give them an incentive to come into our store. So they haven't seen us before. So you want it to be quick value. Be like, hey, check us out. You're going to get 20% off your first order. You're also going to get free shipping on 99 plus orders. All right, and then call to action. We're going to click shop now. And this headline has worked well for us, especially when it comes to prospecting. You can put 20% off or 30% off or 40% off or buy one, get one free, whatever it may be, but they need an incentive to come into your world. All right, and then enhancements. You can go ahead and select which enhancements work well for your product. Let's just say I'm gonna unselect this one and we click done. So this is our first ad creative. And if you look at it right here, it gives you a glimpse of what it looks like, which is perfect. And then our colorways, 20% off your first order, and then free shipping on 99 plus, which is good. Again, someone that's not familiar with our brand, they would take action if it was the ideal product for them and they were looking for joggers, they would take action based on this 20% off your first order and then free shipping and then how well the creative handled. All right, so that's our first creative. Now we're gonna quickly duplicate another creative as we want 3 creatives per ad set. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna change just the creative. Gonna edit media, select the next creative for our prospecting campaign. Let's look at our media placements. So it looks good. Select next. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just change the primary text. This primary text looks good. Signature, magnetic seam, 4-way stretch, comfort stretch. And then we're keeping the headline and the description the same. 20% off first order, free shipping at 99 plus. Call to action same way. Again, this is just prospecting. So benefit and then give them an incentive. Save big on your first order and score free shipping at 99 plus. Click next. Click done. I'm just trying to run through this quickly so that way you kind of have the ideal setup of what the prospecting campaign is going to look like. And then we're going to look at the actual placements. Okay, so signature magnetic seam, 4-way stretch, and comfort stretch elite plus fabric, season comfort, and 20% off your first order, and then free shipping on 99 plus. All right, so this looks good. And I'll have a dedicated video on just the copy and a dedicated video on just the actual offers. So that way you know which offers to craft when it comes to prospecting and which offers to craft if it's retargeting. Because they need a different message for each. One is familiar with your brand, the other is not familiar with your brand. All right, and then we're gonna quickly duplicate another one because we want 3 creatives per ad set. Then go into this one and we're gonna select edit and we're gonna put on our 3rd one. Look at all the placements. This one looks good. And then all we're gonna do is just edit the primary text. All right, went ahead and slapped in some primary text, keeping the headline, description, all that the same, just the primary text. That way it matches the creative. And I was just gonna uncheck this one, but go ahead and see whichever enhancements works well for your product. Some of these are actually very good. Then we click done. All right, and then we're gonna take a look at it. So this looks good. And then we can go ahead and change some names on these. So we can go, this one be media 1 or this one be media 2. That way it can be a little bit organized. Media 2, this one's media 1. And then this one would be media 3. All right, so we have 3 ad creatives. Look at this one. Again, we're just product focus ad, simple offer, 20% off your first order, free shipping on 99 plus. We want to give them an incentive to come into our world. All right, so that's for all the medias or all the creatives. And then you want to make sure your website URLs, obviously, and then you can always check this box or click on this button and it will take you to your website. But ideally, you don't want it to land on the home page. Obviously, you want it to land on the actual product page. So let's just say this one would be backspace joggers. All right, so for each product, it needs to land at the product page. So that's for website URL. And then if any of these placements need editing, you can go ahead and look at every placement, whether it's Instagram feed, Facebook feed, stories, and you can go ahead and edit the placement. And whatever you need to edit, you can go ahead and edit it from here so that way it fits that placement. All right, so that's 3 ads per ad set. Look at this one, simple creative, take 20% off first order, showcasing the product, lifestyle UGC, an all-time bestseller. Media 3, drop cut long sleeve Lux Polo, take 20% off your first order, and then signature magnetic cream. It's just benefit and then an incentive. Save big on your first order. So all we're doing with prospecting. It's just slight benefit and then incentive. Hey, come into our store. We're going to give you 20% off or 40% off. That kind of thing. And then we're showcasing different colors. All right, so that's 3 ad creatives. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 ad sets, 3 creatives per ad set. All right, so this is going to be basically 1 campaign, 3 ad sets, and 3 creatives per ad set. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly duplicate, and I'll tell you why we're going to do this. It's going to quickly duplicate it inside the campaign. And then this one is going to be our lookalike audience. I'll tell you why we're doing lookalike audience. And then we can put USA. USA. And then we're going to go down to our audience. And then we have to click further limit the reach of our ads. So that way we can select a custom audience. And then we're going to search our existing audience, which is going to be, remember, this audience is a lookalike audience. We can say lookalike purchases. That might be better. This is lookalike purchases. So basically we want a lookalike audience based off our purchases. That's our second ad set. We're going to search. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and select all website purchase 180. And then we're going to create a lookalike audience based off of that. So it's going to say select your lookalike audience. So it's going to be this one, all website purchase. Basically, anybody that's purchased in 180 days, we want a lookalike audience. We want to get similar customers based off the people who have purchased from us. All right. Then we're going to select our country, which is going to be the US. For you, it might be slightly different. Or if it's the US, you can go ahead and select that. Or if it's the entire region, you can go ahead and select that. All right, then we're going to go ahead and select 1%. And then we're going to click create audience. It's going to create it for us. And it's going to put it in our custom audience. And then we're going to go ahead and remove our all website purchases. That way we just have our lookalike 1% of all website purchases in 180 days. Now, all right, so we got a lookalike US. So it's going to be pulling in an audience that's similar to our audience that have purchased from our site. So it's our lookalike audience based off of that country. And then again, we're showcasing the same ads for that ad set. So all 3. And then we're going to quickly duplicate the third ad set. And this one's going to be 1 interest. So we're going to see which interest. Let's just say we can keep this the same for now. We're basically going to go down to our audience. And instead of lookalike, we're going to go ahead and edit that. We can go ahead and cancel it. And then we're going to go into detail targeting right here. And then we're going to select an interest. So let's just say I like this interest right here, which is clothing and apparel. This is an interest. People that have already shown interest in, let's just say, clothing and apparel, it's going to target those people. So you want 1 interest. So you can go ahead and select for your product. Like you can go into, let's just say shoes. Let's see what it pulls up. And then you can say shoes, footwear, interest, and you want to select, you want to make sure it's interest. You don't want to go into demographics or behaviors. All right. So because if you look at the behaviors, just means the people that do this type of behavior, which is travel, frequent travels. I have a dedicated video on demographics, behaviors, and interests. But demographics is way more expensive. Behavior is slightly less expensive, and then interest is the best approach. So you want to find something that's relevant to your product. So let's just say we're going to select this one, which is clothing and apparel, which is an interest. All right, and then we're going to keep everything the same. So don't even play around with age. Don't play around with the country unless you have a different country that you're selecting. Then go ahead and do that. But if you're targeting the U.S., ideally you want to have them all of them running for the U.S. or whatever country. If it's the U.S. and the U.K., you can do that also. But you want them to all match. Now, if all broad U.S. works well for your product, then use that as your targeting. So that's going to be your audience for your prospecting. But ideally, we're trying to find the right people with the right creatives that bring in the highest return on ad spend, because that's ultimately what we're measuring. Once we have that, we're able to figure out, okay, this audience has worked well for us, whether it's lookalike purchases or whether it's the interest. Let me change this one to interest so that way it's not matching. So this one's going to be clothing interest. And ideally, I don't know why this one's not auto-correcting, but anyways. Ideally, we're trying to figure out which audience works well for our product. Once we know which audience works well for our product, we can keep using that audience for our prospecting campaign because we want the right people seeing our ads. We don't want the wrong people seeing our ads, because if the wrong people are seeing our ads, no matter how good of a creative you have, it's never going to perform well. So that's why we test stuff, whether it's audience or we start off with our audience. That's our first thing. And then we move on to the creatives. And you basically do that by looking at your return on ad spend. So if you have a 3x return on ad spend or a 4x return on ad spend on this audience right here, then good. You can keep using clothing interest as your prospecting campaign. All right. So now that we got 3 ads per ad set, and then we have 3 ad sets, go ahead, take a look at all the formats just to make sure everything's right. And if everything looks good on all of them, just looks good. This looks good. And again, we'll talk about primary text, headline, which is your offers, in a separate video. I just wanted to throw in a quick campaign structure so that way you know what your prospecting structure is going to look like. It's going to be 3 ad sets, 3 ads per ad set. All right. And then you can go ahead and click preview and publish. And it's just going to be like, all right, does this look right? And you're going to click yes, publish. That's it. And it's running. And then just give it a couple of hours, and then Meta should approve everything.